Today we're getting into a real cornerstone of self-help literature, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich from 1937.
It really is foundational. Though, that title, it makes you think purely about money, doesn't it?
It does.
But Hill's whole project, supposedly based on decades interviewing giants like Carnegie, Edison, it was broader. He was looking for the secrets to achieving any big goal, career, health, you name it.
Right. So our mission here is to kind of peel back the layers, get past some of the, let's say, florid language, and boil it down to maybe 7 practical steps someone could actually use. Because his core idea is pretty radical, isn't it? That success genuinely starts up here in the mind.
Absolutely. Turning desire into reality through sheer disciplined follow-through. That's the heart of it.
We should probably mention, though, some of Hill's own stories, especially about Carnegie, have been, questioned over the years.
That's true. There's definitely modern scrutiny about the historical accuracy of some anecdotes. But honestly, whether he spent 5 minutes or 20 years with Carnegie,
the principles themselves have stuck around.
Exactly. Things like goal setting, persistence, they're still taught. So let's unpack those mechanics. Where do we start? Foundationally.
Okay, step 1, the definite chief aim. The DCA. Now, we all know about setting goals, but this feels more intense than just a New Year's resolution.
Oh, much more. It's about absolute clarity, not vague stuff like, I want to be successful. Hill demands specificity. Like, I am earning X dollars by Y date, or I am achieving this specific promotion within 12 months.
And it has to be that concrete.
Yes, because, that forces commitment. Vagueness lets you off the hook. Hill believed that fear of really committing, of naming it, is what kills most ambition. You have to write it down.
Write it down, clearly, concisely.
And crucially, in the present tense, I am doing this. It trains your brain to accept it as a current reality you're working towards, not some distant maybe. It becomes your compass.
Okay, so you've got this crystal clear written down aim, but then you have to actually believe it's possible, especially if it's huge. That leads to step 2, right? Unwavering faith or belief.
Right. And this is where people often stumble. How do you make yourself believe something that hasn't happened yet?
Yeah, and isn't there a risk? Like being blindly committed to a goal that maybe isn't working out?
That's a fair challenge.
Oh.
Hill's answer isn't about ignoring reality checks. It's about programming your subconscious mind. He defined faith as definiteness of purpose backed by the belief in the attainment of the object of that purpose. So it's belief tied to that specific aim.
Okay. Programming the subconscious, how does that work, practically speaking?
Through a technique he called autosuggestion. Think of it as daily mental conditioning. 2 main parts.
Go on.
First, visualization. You actually spend time each day seeing yourself having achieved the goal vividly. Engage all your senses. What does it feel like, sound like, look like?
So you're trying to make the mental picture feel real.
Exactly. The idea is if it's vivid enough, your subconscious starts to accept it, reducing that gap between your present and your goal.
And the second part?
Affirmations. Taking that written DCA statement and reading it aloud. Twice a day, he suggested, just before sleep and just after waking up.
Why then?
Because that's supposedly when the subconscious is most receptive. And you can't just read it like a grocery list. You have to inject emotion. Feel the success as you say the words. That combination, repetition plus emotion, that's what installs the belief.
Okay, so mindset first. Clear aim, strong belief built through practice. What's next? You can't just think your way there.
Definitely not. Now we need the engine. Strategy, action, and collaboration. Which brings us to step 3, the mastermind group.
Ah, the mastermind. This is probably one of his most famous concepts.
And maybe most impactful in business.
Yeah.
He saw it as 2 or more people working together in total harmony for a shared, definite purpose.
But what makes it more powerful than just, having supportive friends or colleagues?
Because it's structured. He'll define power as organized and intelligently directed knowledge. A true mastermind isn't just a support group. It's an accountability engine.
Accountability. Wow,
Yeah.
So
It forces intellectual honesty. Your group challenges your assumptions, pushes back, makes you defend your plans. It's iron sharpens iron. And Hill stressed you have to clearly define what you bring to the group. What value do you offer in return for their input? It's a reciprocal alliance.
makes sense. So you've got your goal, your belief, your support structure. Now you actually have to do something.
Precisely. Step 4, organized planning and decisive action. This is where the rubber meets the road. Idea plus plan plus action, results. Simple formula, incredibly hard execution.
So breaking down that big DCA into smaller steps, daily tasks, weekly goals.
Exactly. A roadmap. You need deadlines, priorities. But the key insight from Hill's research here is decisiveness.
How so?
He studied supposedly 25,000 people who experienced failure. And the number one reason, lack of decision, indecision.
Not choosing a path.
Or endlessly delaying. He pointed to people like Henry Ford as examples of the opposite. Make decisions quickly, based on the best info you have, and then change them slowly, only if absolutely necessary. Procrastination, for Hill, was basically fear wearing a disguise.
Okay, but what if you make a quick, decisive choice, and it's the wrong one? Doesn't that clash with the next step, which I assume is about sticking with things?
Good point. But decisiveness gets you moving, gets you feedback. If the plan is flawed, you learn that faster, then you pivot. But the pivot itself needs to be decisive. It leads perfectly into step 5, cultivating persistence.
The sticking power. This one feels obvious, but maybe it's the hardest.
It's absolutely non-negotiable for Hill. Persistence is weathering setbacks. But importantly, he reframes failure. It's not the end, it's feedback. It's a lesson, an opportunity to adjust the plan.
Like the classic Edison story and the light bulb, thousands of tries.
Exactly. Those stories illustrate that persistence isn't just gritting your teeth. It's fueled by that intense desire from step 1. If your DCA is strong enough, a setback doesn't stop you. It just gives you new information. Hill often said success is usually just one step beyond the point of temporary defeat.
Right. Don't quit right before the breakthrough.
That's the essence of it. Keep going. Adapt based on the feedback, but keep going.
Okay, so we have the core engine, mindset, aim and belief, collaboration, mastermind, action, plan and decision, and resilience, persistence. That seems like a solid loop. But Hill had more, didn't he? Kind of the intangible tools.
Yes, moving into the finer points, the mental toolkit. Step 6, specialized knowledge and creative imagination.
Specialized knowledge, meaning not just knowing random facts.
Right, general knowledge is okay, but power comes from mastering skills directly relevant to your DCA. And critically, knowledge isn't power until it's organized and applied through a plan.
Okay, and the imagination part. That sounds a bit more abstract.
He saw imagination as the workshop of the mind, where plans are created. He actually broke it down into 2 types.
Which are?
Synthetic imagination, this is mostly rearranging old ideas, concepts, plans into new combinations, like putting existing building blocks together in a novel way. Most planning uses this.
Okay, logical enough.
But then there's creative imagination. This is where true breakthroughs come from. Hunches, insights, inspiration. What Hill connected to infinite intelligence.
Infinite intelligence. That sounds very metaphysical. How do we translate that today? You could think of it as accessing deeper intuition, maybe. The state where your subconscious connects disparate pieces of information without conscious effort, like being in the zone.
And can you encourage that?
Hill thought so. Yeah. Through things like brainstorming, just generating tons of ideas without judgment. Quantity first, quality later, free writing, anything that bypasses the conscious critic for a bit.
Interesting. That deep mental work seems to tie into the next step, doesn't it? Step 7.
Positive.
Positive mental attitude, PMA, and mastering the subconscious mind. Absolutely connected. The PMA idea is simple on the surface, positive thoughts attract positive outcomes. But the mechanism Hill focused on was the subconscious. He saw it as this giant, powerful filing cabinet and engine room running 24/7.
And it just absorbs everything.
Everything. Sensory input, thoughts, emotions. Critically, it doesn't filter like the conscious mind does. It doesn't judge good or bad. It just accepts and reinforces whatever you feed it most consistently, especially if it's tied to strong emotion.
So you have to consciously curate your inputs, feed it the good stuff.
Exactly. Focus on positive emotions, desire, faith, love, enthusiasm, hope, and actively starve the negative ones. Fear, jealousy, hatred, revenge, greed, anger. It's about mental hygiene, really.
Now, within this, he talks about something called transmutation, which can sound a bit strange, especially his focus on sex energy.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the more dated and, frankly, potentially awkward parts of the book for modern readers. He saw sexual energy as an incredibly powerful motivator.
So what's the practical takeaway, filtering out the 1930s lens?
I think the core principle is about channeling intense energy. Whatever powerful drives or emotions you have, ambition, passion, even strong impulses, successful people learn to harness that raw energy. They redirect it away from distraction or destructive outlets and focus it relentlessly towards their definite chief aim.
So it's about sustained high-intensity focus, powered by your deepest drives, whatever they may be.
Precisely. That sustained, almost compulsive focus applied constructively. That's what he believed separated geniuses from the rest.
And if you manage to master all these things, the aim, belief, planning, persistence, knowledge, mindset, energy focus, what then? Hill had one final level, didn't he?
He did. The sixth sense. The pinnacle, attainable only after mastering all the other principles.
And what is the sixth sense, according to Hill?
He described it almost mystically. It's when your creative imagination, fueled by your subconscious, acts like a perfect receiver for insights, hunches, wisdom, that connection to infinite intelligence again. Basically, highly refined, trustworthy intuition born from discipline.
The ultimate integration of everything we've discussed.
That's the idea. The point where clarity, belief, action, and focused energy merge into a kind of effortless knowing.
Okay, so let's recap the journey. The 7 steps distilled. Start with absolute clarity on your goal, DCA. Build unwavering belief through autosuggestion. Leverage collaboration with a mastermind. Create an organized plan and act with decisiveness. Cultivate relentless persistence through setbacks. Acquire specialized knowledge and use your imagination. And finally, maintain a positive mental attitude by mastering your subconscious and channeling your energy.
That's a great summary. And looking back, while we acknowledge the questions around some of Hill's personal story,
the practical framework itself is pretty robust.
It is. And Hill leaves the reader with a final, crucial challenge. He believed all failure, ultimately, stemmed from succumbing to one or more of 6 basic fears.
Ah, yes, the fears. What were they again?
The fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, the loss of love, old age, and death. He argued these are the ghosts that haunt us, that paralyze decision, that kill persistence.
So mastering these fears is almost a prerequisite to applying the 7 steps effectively.
You could definitely argue that. If you're constantly held back by fear of what others think, or fear of losing money, or fear of getting older, you simply won't take the decisive, persistent action required.
It really brings it back to the internal game, doesn't it? The path isn't easy. Lots of people start, but they quit when things get tough.
That temporary defeat point he mentioned. Success isn't just the outcome. It's the willingness to keep showing up, keep adjusting, keep persisting day in, day out.
So maybe the final thought for everyone listening, drawing from Hill's own challenge, look at those 6 fears again. Poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, death.
Which one of those, if you could genuinely eliminate its hold on your mindset today, would unlock the most potential for you? Which fear is the biggest roadblock stopping you from defining and pursuing your own definite chief aim?
Something to really think about. That's all for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.